It doesn't have a keyboard, but it does have a warning text, which I'll get to when we get there. You can write short emails, text messages, fill out a reminder, and things like that. But as you can see in the cartoon, it's not the ideal device for entering data. So Susan Strickland's trying to, and I don't know why she just texted me and said she was trying to get in. You can read the news on your Apple Watch. It has little, if you have the news app, you can read up to 5 little stories or mini stories. And so it's not a device that's intended to replace your phone, but it's an adjunct to your, augment to your phone. So you can receive notifications, alerts, messages, and you can launch a lot of useful apps. And it funnels them all down to the screen the size of a potato chip, as you all know. So with that in mind, the first thing I do want to show you is how to download the iPhone user guide. So if you go into your camera, let me just go into camera here. And if you aim the camera at the QR code, you notice that there's yellow brackets that are placed around it. And up at the top of the screen, it says open an iBook. So if I tap the top of the screen up here, tap up here, it'll go into and actually open the, or actually, if you don't have it downloaded, it'll say get. But I already have it on my phone. So now I just tap read. And once you do that, then you can just open books. So what you have here is a user's guide, looks like that. And when you open it, depending on how big your screen is on your phone, you notice down at the bottom, it says down here, it says 300 and I'm on page 320 of 622. And if you go to the top up here, where the little hamburger symbol is, tap on that and tap on the very top where it says what's new right here. Tap on what's new. It'll list all the new features of Watch OS 7. So if you just recently put in OS 7, you can get all the new features listed here. And then you can also use the table of contents that was shown here in books. Oops, got out of it. Go in the table of contents and find anything you want, or you can search for something. So hit resume, and you notice there's a search bar at the top up here. And if you tap on the question mark, you can type in and look for a particular word or keywords and find it in that manual. So that's a complete manual for the Apple Watch. And you can also download one for the iPhone as well. If you want to do that, you can go to the bookstore and ask for a user guide. Just type in user guide and you'll find it. Okay. So I don't want that. That's photos. So let's close the camera. And now I also sent you guys a link, most of you a link. This is the features guide to the watch. So if you want to know what watch you have and what features it has, but you don't know what model it is, if you look at that down at the bottom, you will see a list of models. Now the model numbers are A and then 4 digits. So what you have to do is go to your settings app on the watch or your watch app on the phone and go into general and about, and then you'll see in general and about. Let's see, we can do that. So if I go into the watch app, where's my little pointer? There it is. Okay, so if I go here, here's the watch app. I'm circling it. If I tap on that and go down to general and about, okay, it gives me the model number. And the model number there is a really weird model number. So if I tap on that model number, it changes it to an A number. Now I can look on this little thing that I handed out to you and say, oh, A 1977, find 1977 on this list. And it says, oh, that's a series, whatever. It says series 4. So this thing is now logged onto my my Apple Watch 4, which I didn't want it to be. I want it to be on my Apple Watch 6. So I will change that in here. All watches switch automatically and change it to my 6, which is the one that you're seeing on the display. Okay. I didn't realize it was doing that. Okay. So that's the first thing I did want to point out to you is on your phone somewhere, there's this watch app. And when you tap on that watch app, it is the app that lets you set things on your watch. So you don't have to do it on the watch itself. Although you can do a lot of things on the watch itself. But it's much easier to do it using this watch app. And so we'll be talking about that. But most of the things you do on the watch app, and some things you can do on the watch itself, like settings. Some of the settings you can do on the watch itself. Okay, on the handout, let me go to the actual screen now if I can find it. Okay, there's my watch that I'll be talking about. And the next two items on the handout are descriptions of all the things you can do on the watch itself. The controls. You can swipe, you can hold your palm over it and so on. And I'm not going to go over this line by line because it would put everybody to sleep. But there's a couple things that I think I find interesting. And one is if the watch is off or asleep and you just turn the crown, I'm going to go over here to my watch and turn the digital crown and just turn it up. It gets it brighter. And so if you're in a dark room, if you put your hand over it, it'll turn it off. If you're in a dark room, like a theater or in bed at night, if you wear yours at night, which I do for a number of reasons, if I just start turning this up a little bit at a time, it gets the screen brighter and brighter and brighter gradually. So you can see it first dark and then brighter and brighter as you turn the digital crown. That puts it back to sleep. So I just wanted to let you know that you can do that. Also, if you have the watch on, you want to turn it off. If you hold the power on, the side button here on the bottom right, hold that button for a second. Well, now it wants my code. I created a quickie passcode here. It's not my real passcode, but I want to. This thing's going to time out and go into the lock mode periodically, and I'm going to have to wake it up. If I hold my finger on this, I have the option of powering off, looking at the medical ID, or sending an emergency SOS. So this is how you turn the watch completely off if you're going to put it in a drawer for a couple of days and you don't want the battery to go down. Oh, this other watches. Someone's trying to get in and I don't have time to deal with that and teach this class at the same time, so I'm going to have to ignore her.
Jake, I sent her the link again.
Okay.
So I don't know what the problem is.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to talk about some of these other things as we go along, but on the first page here, the watch face gestures and the side button and digital crown items are sort of a guide that concentrates in one place all the things you can do with the buttons and the strokes on the screen. And as we get to them, I will use them, of course. Now, the one thing that the watch does have, other than showing you the picture, phone's at my front door. Oh, it even shows on my watch that there's someone at my front door. How about that? Okay, that wasn't supposed to be there for the demo, but it's a little freebie. Okay, so there is the watch. There's a watch face that I would normally have if I'm just walking about. But let's say I want to open an app, and you can have. There are a lot of apps that are built into the phone, and the last 3 pages of the handout lists all the apps that are built into the. When I say phone, I meant watch. All the apps that are built into the watch, and I will go over those. or some of them. And if there's anyone that you're really interested in yourself, okay, Susan Strickland's having trouble getting in. So,
She's not texting me. Can you just say I sent her an email? I don't know.
yeah, no, I'm not going to
Take the
worry
time.
about it. So anyhow, I got distracted. Okay, so we're going to open an app, and there are lots of apps on the watch, and the last 3 pages shows these apps. And what I suggest you do is between now and tomorrow is look through the list and see if there are any apps you want me to talk about specifically. Because I'm going to pick out a few. I'm not going to be able to talk about all of them, but I'm going to pick out a few and talk about them. But if there's one that you're particularly interested in, let me know. Either email me or text me or call me or whatever, or put it in the chat today, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. Okay, so the way to get to your apps is to just press once on the digital crown. That's a little wheel here on the right, upper right corner of the watch. Just press on that once, and it gives you a list of all the apps that you might have on your phone. Now, on your watch. If I say phone, I mean watch most of the time. Okay, now here's the way that yours might look. If I tap on this, yours might look like a honeycomb of a bunch of little circles. And if I turn the digital crown, I can zoom out. And I made those into a funny shape. You can customize the shape of these things, but I find this interface rather useless because you have to know what all the symbols mean, and it's hard to find them, and it's just a big cluster. So you can actually modify it so that it shows you a list in alphabetical order, which is what I suggest you do, unless you happen to like that honeycomb pattern. So the way to do this is either on the watch or on the phone, is go into settings. And what you can do is just find settings, and just scroll down till you get to settings S and tap on settings. And it says here in the handout how to do this. So go to settings and then go to home screen, I think it says. Scroll down to where it says home screen. Where did it say that? Settings, app view, it's app view. Okay. So I want to find, oh, there it is, app view. So you're going to go to app view and tap on app view. Okay, and then you have a choice of grid or list view. So yours is probably on grid if you have that honeycomb grid view. You just tap on list view, and now when you go into and look at your apps, they're all listed here. Now they're in alphabetical order, and you can find the one you want because you know the name of it alphabetically, and it still shows you the icon, so you can find things. Now, I find that I very seldom ever go to apps by using this method, because there's a much better way to go to apps, and that is using complications on the watch face itself, and I'll show you that when we get there. But there is another thing too. We talk about the dock. I can talk about that later, so I won't talk about it now. So the easiest thing to do is just tap on digital crown once, and then find the app you want, and then tap on the icon for the app or the app itself, and you can immediately go into that. So like if you wanted to go into alarms, you tap on alarms, and then it gives you a list of all the alarms. But that, as I said, is the hard way to get to it. I don't bother to ever use the crown to get into the apps unless it's an app that I very seldom use. There's better ways to do it. And what you'll do is put the apps on the watch face and then just tap there and go directly to it. Now you can set the watch to chime once an hour if you want, and I show you there how to do that. You go to the watch or the iPhone watch app and go to clock, chimes, and on, turn it on, and then the sound, you can make a bird sound or a bell sound. And I'm not going to demonstrate that. You can read it here in the handout. You can also have the watch speak the time. And I don't know if you'll be able to hear this, but if I double tap or two-finger tap on the watch face.
10:17 a.m.
Were you able to hear that?
10:17 a.m.
Did you
Yes,
hear
we can hear it.
So it's at 10:17 a.m. So if you have that enabled and you don't have the watch in the silent mode, then holding two fingers for a few seconds
10:18 a.m.
Will tell you the time. So you could use this if you don't want to look at the watch or you're in a place where the sound wouldn't bother other people. I usually have my watch constantly in the silent mode, so I don't have a use for that, or I can't use it in the silent mode. I don't want to accidentally do that in the middle of the night when I'm in bed. You can also turn on what's called taptic time, and that will count out the time for you in different methods by either digits or a terse mode or using Morse code if you happen to like it. And you can enable that as well. I've never really used it myself, so I can't vouch for it. But if someone was visually impaired or so on, they could use the speak time or the taptic time. Okay, so let's talk about some of the built-in apps. I'm going to talk about the rest of them probably mostly tomorrow, but the three that I think are the two that are most useful, of course, are the mail app and the text messages app, because as soon as you get an email or a text message, it shows up on your watch. And that's one of the cool things about the watch is it shows you your messages. And you saw when Susan Strickland was trying to get in to this Zoom call, she kept Zooming me or texting me, and it kept showing up on the watch. I'm going to have to unlock the watch again. Okay, so I'm going to go to a different watch face, and I'm going to just swipe to the left until I get to it. Okay, so there's a watch face, and that is the Infograph watch face. And if you have an Apple Watch 4, Series 4, 5, or 6, then you have this available to you as an option. If you don't have a 4, 5, or 6, then you won't be able to get the Infograph face. But the Infograph face lets you have 8 different complications. So here I have the weather, temperature. Here I have the timer. Here I have the alarm. Here I have the news app. Here I have the date, mail, text messaging, and the exercise. So if I wanted to go to the mail app, I just tap on it. And it takes me to my inbox, and I can scroll through. And then if I find something that I want to read, so I can go here and tap on New York Times, and then it'll open up and show me the message, which I wouldn't want to spend too long reading on this, but at least it gives me a flavor for what it is. And then if I'm really interested, I can go to my phone and follow up. Now, if I wanted to respond to this message, like if I wanted to respond to Susan, let's see, how do I do this? Okay, I can reply. Okay, so I can hit reply. And then I can use the scribble. So or I can use one of these canned responses. I'll say I'm in class, get to you soon, and then send that. I can reply to the email right from the watch. So there, I've done that. Okay, so you can also dictate instead of using Scribble, and I will show you Scribble in a few minutes because it's an easy way to write a custom message, either in a text message or in mail, or if you're entering a reminder. Maybe on the spot you want to enter a reminder, remind you to buy milk or something. So you can just use your finger to write that right into there. Or you can dictate it. So you could dictate the response if you're in a place where you can dictate. So if I wanted to go here and, oops, don't want to do it there. I want to tap the watch itself. I was tapping on my phone screen, which doesn't really help, does it? So if I wanted to respond to the New York Times, which is probably not a very good idea because I don't think they're going to, oops, that's a long message. Okay, let's pick a different one. Let's pick something, maybe South Coast Rep. I don't know. All these messages, okay, I can reply. Okay, so you see I have three options. Well, four options. I can select one of these canned messages. And by the way, you can customize these messages. And I show you where to go in the, in the settings to do that. You can also dictate your response. So I could tap on that. Thank you for sending me this email. Hit done. Okay, and then I could send that, or I could cancel. I can reply, I can scribble, or I can send an emoji. So I can just say, okay, I'm going to send you an emoji of a chicken polka, and then go and send that. Or I can scribble. Okay, so let's hit reply. So let's talk about scribble while we're here. So I'm going to hit the little scribble button, the middle one. And now I can just write on this little screen here, and I can write thank you. So I'll write T-A-C, oh, did it on the phone again, doesn't work. T-H-A-N. And now if I scroll through with my scroll, I can find other words that start the same. So I can just hit thank you. And if I just pause there for a second, it'll pick it up. So if I type, oops, can't do it on the phone. I have to remind myself. Y-O, so I can just scroll and find you. And as soon as I stop scrolling, it picks up the word you. Well, I can always back up using the backup button here and change the word. Thank you for F-O. Well, you didn't get the F, so I'll just do F-O-R space, the space, oops, E space, email. So if I type EM, okay, there, I just got email. So once you type the first few letters, you can scroll and look for the correct word. Just type the first one or two letters and type the first few lines. So I want to type message, M-E-S. Maybe I can scroll here and find message. Well, that wasn't enough information. So I'll type S. Now maybe it'll find message. No messages, no message, it doesn't like message. Okay. So I'll type another S, A, and there it should say, thank you for the message there. So you can, by typing a few letters on the phone screen, you can create a message or response very quickly. And then thank you for the email message. And then if I hit send, it'll send it to them, but I'm not going to send it to them because it's one of those email addresses that doesn't even take a response, I'm sure. So rather than go over here and press on the crown and search for mail and get to the mail app that way, it's much easier instead to put a mail icon on one of your watch faces and respond to mail that way if that's something that you do quite a bit. Same thing you can do with text messages. This is the text message. It says I have 6 messages that I haven't read yet. And by the way, in mail, if you go to your watch app settings on the phone and go to mail, you can select which email services that you have. Like I have Gmail and Cox and one other. You can select which ones you want to show up on your phone, on your watch, and which ones you don't. So like the Cox is what I use for commercial stuff. I don't want to be bothered with that. But the Gmail is the one I use for personal things. So I like to receive all my Gmail on the watch. And then if I get a Gmail email message, I can glance at it in the watch, and if I want to respond to it, I usually will just go to the phone and do it. But if I didn't have the phone handy, I could do it on the watch, just like I showed you how to do. Now, if you're doing, I have to unlock this each time. If you're doing text messages, so here are all my text messages that I got, and I can respond to any one of them by tapping on, you know, like if I wanted to respond to Susan. Okay, so here you can see I have 6 options for responding to text messages. I can dictate, I can use Scribble, I can send icons, I can emoji, I can send memoji. Memoji would be me. So I created a memoji for Jake. And for reasons. So send that one. So if I tap on that one, I can select which one I want to send. Like, oops. So I could send that one to her. They're like, oh my God. Delivered. Oh, I didn't realize it was going to deliver it, but okay. I could send.
Jake,
Yeah,
there is a question that I think is pertinent to right now.
sure.
And it's from Aviva. How can we create a watch face that includes the apps, the specific apps that we want on our watch face?
Yeah, I'm going to get to that later.
Infograph. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
So you can send digital touch messages. So if I hit the digital touch, then I could tap on the watch face and send little circles or things like that. And it will send 3 little circles. And that's what you would get. See, can I cancel out of that? Done. She's going to wonder what's going on. Or I could send her money. So if I tap on Apple Pay, it let me send her from my Apple Pay. So there are all these things you can write from your watch. And that's quite handy. You can also double tap on the message bubble and send one of these little thumbs up or thumbs down. So if I go back here and tap on the message bubble and hold my finger on it, or double tap on it, I can put a heart, thumbs up, thumbs down, haha. And so I'll give her a thumbs up on that one, saying, okay, that's okay. So then what it did is, oops, I keep texting the screen there and making it, text the wrong screen. I have to get used to doing it on phone. So you see it put a little thumbs up right here on her message. And this is actually happening. I'm sending it to her. I hope I'm not embarrassing her. Okay, so we did talk about Scribble. That's on the top of page 3 of the handout, so I'm not going to do that again. Now, Apple Pay is really handy. If you've used Apple Pay on your phone, you probably know about it. If you want to use it on your watch, all you have to do is, I'm getting a phone call. Okay, silence the call. I don't know who it's from. Won't worry about it. Okay, so if you want to use Apple Pay, what you do is you double tap the side button over here. Tap, tap. And I have to enter the passcode. Normally you won't enter the passcode because you've already put your watch on and the passcode's in there already. So what happens is you get this just by double tapping. You don't have to put your passcode in. As I said, the reason I had to put my passcode in is because I'm not wearing the watch on my wrist. And so it doesn't know that it's okay unless I put the password in. But normally you just double tap it and it'll immediately pop up with one of your credit cards. You can select the one you want, or it'll default to your default credit card. And if that's the one you want to use, all you have to do is now hold your watch near the point of sale terminal. So you go into Trader Joe's and you want to pay from your watch, just double tap the side button and hold your watch over the little terminal. where you normally slide your credit card, and within a second, your watch will give you a little buzz on your hand, you know, the little tactic shake, and the deal is done. It's that simple. So, and by the way, you can do this without your phone nearby because the watch has all the same information your phone does. So you don't have to have your phone with you. So let's say you went to the store and you left your phone in the car, or you left it at home and you wanted to pay with Apple Pay, you still can do it if you have your watch on, even though your phone is far away. Oh, welcome, Susan. Okay, so that's Apple Pay. You can set up Apple Pay on the iPhone Watch app and add credit cards to it. Got in. Okay. Now, when you do exercise, for instance, this morning I got on the elliptical walker, I tapped on this little exercise button, I tapped on the elliptical walker and walked on it for 30 minutes. And then that information gets transferred to the health and activities app on your phone. So if you go to the health or activities app on your phone, you'll be able to see the results of all of these different activities you've done. So if I go over here and go to health, H-E-A-L, there's the health app. Okay, it gives me a summary of everything I did today. And I can also tap on any one of these and give me information for the future as well, or not the future, the past, my history of climbing, walking, and so on. So all your health information from your watch or any place else gets funneled into the health app, and then you can check it out. So, like a heart rate is being checked. All the time you have your watch on, it's checking your heart rate. If you have an Apple Watch Series 6, it's checking your blood oxygen level periodically, as long as you happen to have your arm in a horizontal position at the time with the face up. If you're doing this or putting your hand behind your head or doing some activity, it'll skip that or delay taking your blood oxygen level because your arm has to be not moving a lot, otherwise it confuses the thing. But it will take your heart rate periodically, and you can go over here and see more data. You can see the range, and you can even see hourly, weekly, daily, what your heart rate range is over time. So that's pretty handy. Now on the Apple Watch models 4 or newer, 4, 5, and 6, it'll detect falls, Niagara Falls, vernal fall. No, it detects if you fall down, different kind of fall. Okay, so what you can do is enable this in the Apple Watch app, go to My Watch Emergency SOS Fall Detection and turn it on. So that would be going here to Watch. You're going to be in My Watch. My Watch is the one down in the lower corner here. This is My Watch. Can you see that? You seeing that? Okay. So down here, it's on the lower left corner, it says My Watch. Make sure you're in that mode. And then you're going to go to Emergency SOS, and you're going to turn on the fall detection right here. So if you turn on fall detection, it should be on by default. And it might be on only if you're above a certain age, if you put your age in. Otherwise, turn it on manually. Okay, go back and unlock this. Every time I do this, I have to unlock it because it's not on my wrist. So I apologize for having to do this each time. Normally, you don't have to do that. Okay, I want to talk about the control center. Now, you all have the control center on your iPhones. If you have a home button, you swipe up from below the screen to get to the control center. And if you are in a Face ID phone, and you swipe from the top right-hand corner down to the, so start up here and just swipe down this way. Swipe down this way. I'll do it. Okay, you get your control center on your phone. Well, I'm talking about the control center on the watch. So the way to get the control center on the watch is you go to the bottom of the watch and swipe up. And when you swipe up, you have equivalent thing of control center, and you scroll the little scroll wheel or just scroll with your finger. You can scroll through the various settings and items in here. So I will go through some of these, even though they may put you to sleep, but it's interesting to see what they are. This one here shows you how much charge you have on the watch. So if you want to know how much charge you have remaining, just swipe up. This one is a flashlight. It's very handy at night if you have to get up to find your way around, or you have to fumble for your keys at the door. If you tap on that, it turns the screen into a flashlight. And then when you hold your wrist away from you, it gets it brighter. It makes it much brighter. And you can also choose from 3 different kinds of flashlights. You can swipe and get it to flash. So if you're trying to get somebody's attention, or you're walking at night, let's say you're walking at dusk or in the morning early, and you want people to see you, your watch can serve as a little flash, just like a bicyclists do. And the third one is red, and you use that at night, or if you have theater mode turned on, which means the watch doesn't make noise or get bright automatically when you lift your wrist. And if you have the theater mode turned on, it'll default to the red. The red is easier on your eyes at night. It doesn't destroy your night vision. So you have a choice of 3 different kind of flashlights, and just to turn it off, just put your hand over the watch and it'll turn it off. So that is how you get to the flashlight mode. Okay, there is the do not disturb right here. And with that, all those emails and texts that I've been getting from people, if I turn that on, I won't get them anymore for the duration. And I can turn it on for 1 hour or until this evening, or just turn it on blank. I'll just turn it on for 1 hour. So if I forget to turn it off, in 1 hour, it'll automatically go off. This one over here is the theater mode. That's very handy. I use that at night, because at night, I don't want the screen to come on when I'm in bed, tossing around or sleeping or whatever. So if I turn that on, it silences any alarms, well, it doesn't silence alarms. Alarms will still come through, as they will even if you have do not disturb turned on. Any alarms will still get through these 2, but it won't make a noise. It won't ring. Anything that made noise won't do it. But it'll also keep the screen dark. And the only way I can get the screen to come on then is to turn the digital crown or tap on the screen. Then it'll get bright, but it won't just stay bright. In the if you have an always on watch, and I've a watch 5 or 6 that's always on, it won't be always on. It'll be off until you tap it or turn the crown. The next one is turning your Wi-Fi on and off. This will lock the watch. I don't have to do that. The watch seems to be locking itself for me just fine as we speak. If you have hearing devices, your hearing aid settings will show up on the watch setting here. So if I tap on that, I can set, I do have hearing aids, so I can set the volume of the hearing aid or what kind of preset I'm in, restaurant or whatever. The next one is the silent mode, and I normally have the silent mode on. I turned it off so I could demonstrate to you how the watch face will speak the time, but normally I have it in this mode where it's always in the silent mode. And the next one is the airplane mode you see here. This is the one with the little water drop is the water lock mode. So if you go swimming, you don't want the waves and the splashing water to keep turning your watch on and lighting up the screen and doing things inadvertently. So if you turn that on, then while you're in the swimming pool, the screen will not respond to anything you do. And you can't even open it up yourself by tapping on the screen because you've disabled the screen. And the way to disable that and get back to normal is to turn the digital crown a number of times. And then what will happen is the speaker will start making a certain beeping sound, and that blasts the water out of the speaker holes. So it keeps the water out of the speaker hole, or gets rid of the water that got into the speaker holes that might block the sound in the future. So not only does it disable the water lock mode, but it also clears out the speakers. You also have, if you're listening to audio on your phone, so if you have music on your, not phone, on your watch, if you have music on your watch and you're playing it through your ear pods or a little Bluetooth speaker, you know, like this, if you have a little speaker, you can select which device you're playing it through. So if I tap on that, first I have to connect a device, and I don't have anything connected right now. But that's how you would select which device to play it through. If you want to find your phone, you lost your phone, it's fell down in the couch or somewhere in the house, you want to find it. If you tap on this Find My Phone, it'll beep your phone. That's my phone ringing. Okay, and if you hold it, it should actually, it actually should turn on the light. It should turn on the, let's see. I thought it turned on the light, but it's not doing it now. I don't know why. Okay, well, that's annoying. And the last one that I have here is the walkie-talkie mode. If you want to be available for walkie-talkie mode, walkie-talkie mode lets you set up a two-way communication between your watch and another watch that has it, and you can walkie-talkie to them as long as you hold your, if you have the walkie-talkie app running, when you hold your finger, you can talk, and then when you let go, you listen. So it's like a real walkie-talkie. So you can rearrange the icons on this screen by going to the edit mode, by tapping, going on the bottom, tapping down here, and they all jiggle just like they do on your phone. And now you can rearrange them. And also you can remove them and add them. So you notice there are little red circles that I can remove them from the control center, and down here I can add them. So there are two down here that I didn't want, so I left them off, but I could add them by hitting the plus button, and then it'll put them up above. And you also can move them around and put them in any order you want, which is good because, for instance, I don't want to accidentally turn on the annoying beep that I just demonstrated for you on finding your phone. So I want that to be off the screen way down at the bottom where I won't accidentally hit it. And the same with turning off the sound. I don't want to accidentally turn off the sound. So the ones that I don't want to use very often, I put down at the bottom of the list. So that's the control center. And that's always available even in the middle of an app. If you're running an app, let's say I'm running the news app, if I swipe up from below, I can still get to the control center in any app. Okay. Notifications. Okay, just like on your phone where you swipe down from above to get to the notification center, on your watch you swipe down from above and you get your notifications. So these are all the notifications that came in, and I can clear them one at a time by holding on it and clearing it, or looking at it. Go back, swipe down. So I go here, and I think if I just swipe to the left, then I can delete it. And I have some options here, and so on. So if I want to delete this one from the watch, it'll still be in my text messaging on my phone, but it won't be on the watch anymore. Or they could go back and delete them all. So if I swipe down and go to the top, I hit clear all. And now when I swipe again, there are no notifications because I got rid of them all. So you can manage your notifications quite readily that way. Okay, so now we're going to get into customizing the watch faces like we talked about before and that Aviva was interested in. And you notice there's a face gallery, and there are a bunch of faces that are available to you to put on your watch faces. And I have about 17 watch faces on here. Some of them I use and some of them are for demo. So I can just go over here all the way to the left and start with the first one that I have and go through them quickly. This one is my grandkids standing in the sunset or sunrise, I don't know which, probably sunset. And it's one of the watch faces. It's a photo face and you can create that. This is the Kaleidoscope, and if I turn the digital crown, it'll actually change it. And if you wait and just watch it, you notice it's changing in real time. I can just speed it up by turning the digital crown, but if I just stop and just watch it, you notice that it's changing right before your eyes. So that's an interesting, fun one to have. This one, you can create a custom watch with a small analog or digital, and you can put 2 complications up on the top. I have the temperature and the date, and down here I have the sound level meter. So you notice as I am talking, the sound level meter is responding to my voice. So your watch has a built-in sound level meter, and you can use it as a complication or as a separate app that you can down. In fact, I tap on it, it'll open the app. Now I'm in the sound level meter app, and most of these complications, if you tap on them, it'll open the app. So if I tap on the date, it'll open up the calendar, okay? And if I tap on the temperature, it'll open up the weather app. So these complications serve as 2 purposes. One is to display to you what's happening, and you don't have to open it. I can just see the date and the temperature, but if I want more information, I just tap on it and it takes me right to the app. This is the tachometer, which is be used if you wanted to time something or determine how many operations you could do per hour by tapping on this thing and then hitting the run button, and it's showing you up here how many units per hour as time goes on. So if I stop it now, okay, in that time period, at that rate, I would be doing 545 whatever's in an hour. So if you're into time and motion studies, that's a great one, right? This one is the count up timer. So you can turn this, tap on this thing, turn this wheel to start, and then it'll start counting up from that time for you. So if I set it here, it'll start counting at 10 minutes and start counting 10 minutes, 11 minutes, 12 minutes, and so on. So hit start. Okay. I didn't hit start. Let's see. I'm going to turn it to 10 minutes and hit start. Okay, you can see here it started at 10 minutes and now it's counting up from 10 minutes. So if you were a scuba diver, that would be something you would use, how much time you have left in your tanks. This is an interesting watch face because it shows you the day, 24-hour day, or yeah, it's a 24-hour day, and showing you where the sun is. So here's the sun right now, and if I and what it'll do throughout the day, that sun will move across the sky. So it starts out at 6 in the morning down here, and it progresses, and you can watch it progress, and then here you see astronomical twilight, nautical dawn, and then so on, and you keep turning it, civil twilight, daytime, during the day, and these segments will change shape during the year. So now you get down to civil twilight, nautical twilight, astronomical twilight, and go down until you're at midnight. So you can actually see the progress. And if you just tap the digital crown, it'll take you back to now. And then you have 4 complications you can put in the 4 corners. This is just a very simple watch face. and I chose an orange color for it, and it just shows the date. This one is the one I normally use, and it shows the date and the temperature outside. This is one of three of these, I guess you call it the infograph. And this one lets you have 8 different functions on it. And what if you want more than 8? So what you can do is create the same watch face 2 or 3 times. So adjacent to this one, I had the same watch face, but I changed the the various complications. So here's a third one that has the same watch face, but different complications, including, you notice the bottom right down here, we're seeing the sound level meter again. And this is showing the tide. I have a tide app. This is showing the direction. It's actually a working compass. So as I rotate the watch, the compass will actually change position. This shows me my altitude above sea level. And this would be, I think it's a voice memo. Voice memo? Yeah, it's a voice memo app. And then I kept the date in the middle here, and the temperature over here on the left on all 3 of them. So they're all 3 of those are the same. But if you had different ones, you could have 8 on each one of these faces. And so on 3 adjacent watch faces, you could have 24 complications. And that's why I say I never use the digital crown over here to find an app, because normally I don't have to. The apps that I use the most are on my watch faces, and I can get to them. Like the one I use all the time is this one. But when I go to sleep, this is the one I have when I go to sleep, because I can get at things that I would do when I'm in sleep. For instance, I wake up in the middle of the night and I want to enter something in the reminders. I just tap on the reminder and then go here to notes and write in something, and you scribble in here to create a new note. And I can do that in bed real quickly and then go back, fall asleep, and then I know that I've written down what I wanted to and I don't disturb anybody. So that's sort of a preview of how to, I didn't go through all the rest of the watch faces. I'll do that real quick. Okay, this is one that's just a me emoji. So every time I tap on it, it makes a different expression of my face. It's kind of a novelty. You can create your own me emoji on your phone and it'll transfer to the watch, and you can customize it, glasses, hair, mustache, whatever, and you can have it as a watch face. Here's another one that's an art one, and every time you tap it, you get a different version of that face. Again, it's a novelty item. This one is a watch face that I can put a calendar or the, in this case, I have the compass app on there. Go back to the watch face. There's a simple one that shows that the time is big digits. It's 10 o'clock, almost 11, but it's still 10 o'clock because it's 10, 57 or something. And it shows both hands, but it also shows a big digit. This one is showing, I think that's the vapor one or fog or something like that. And if knob doesn't do anything. Every time you open it, or tap it, it'll recycle it. Is that the last one? Yeah, I think that's the last one. Okay, so next time I will show you how to modify and create a custom watch face for yourself if you don't already know how to do that. But you can see all the possibilities of using this. So right now I'll have about 3 or 4 minutes. I will entertain any questions or anything you want me to cover next time that I didn't cover, or you're afraid I might not cover next time, and you have a question about some of the apps or anything for that matter.
There's